What's new?
Um, Nothing much. I think we're finally getting a little uptake of more offers getting accepted, it seems like.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
so that's good.
How's your virtual assistant doing?
I let the one go that I think I was paying her too much for what she was worth.
Yeah.
And I still have the cold caller, and she's doing pretty good, setting up appointments here and there on a list I really like.
Do you have how many calls is she making a day?
I only have a list of about 25 people to call, and I got her calling them every other day, so she's doing like 12 a day is all in about an hour.
Sheesh, that's a small list.
Super part-time, super small list. All I want her doing is setting up appointments. I'm working on the weed assessment list, which I really like to cold call that we're putting together right now.
Mm-hmm.
That'll only be another 25, but yeah, I haven't got her on the big list, which I have one from Data Finder, which are you guys are cold calling pretty much every direct mail list too, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah. Every single thing every list we pull, we actually, we do everything with it. We beat it up.
Is there one that works better for cold calling than the other ones, or doesn't matter?
We've had a lot of good success with the exact data list. We got good success with listability as well, the high equity list. So
has Josh been getting anything out of that exact data list? Did he send that out?
He's had a few. He struggled with it a little bit.
I don't think for whatever reason, I don't think it's as good in Lincoln as it is in Omaha even. I told her that.
I have a feeling about that too. I want to get this land glide system that I told you guys about.
Yeah.
I want to get you guys working on that out there. So, yeah, Robbie, how's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. Josh, how's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Not bad. Jeff's good. On. Tara's on.
We're here.
We're getting some people adding in. So, how's everybody doing? Is everybody getting some progress made?
Yep. Yeah, before your land glide comes out, I'm kind of doing my own version of that right now. So it's been working pretty good, actually.
We're going to get that to you guys. I asked my team, I made a few more tweaks to it this morning. And so I'm guessing you guys will see that in a couple of days. So
perfect.
It's pretty cool. Looks like Rod's on.
What's up, gentlemen?
How's it going?
Good.
So yeah, so it's kind of cool because I don't know if Ryan's going to jump on or not, but Ryan kind of cheated last week. He hit me up and said that he's like, "Hey man, can I have access to that land glide thing?" And I'm like, "Well, we don't have it all fine tuned. I just hate giving something out that isn't 100% to my, that I know that it works, even though we were getting some good stuff from it." And he's like, "I don't care. I'll just give it to me and I'll test it for you." So anyway, he used it and got a deal, and looks like he's going to wholesale a deal from it and make like 30-something thousand.
Wow.
It's pretty cool, guys. It's pretty wild. So I'm hoping I'll have that final version to you guys by Friday. Am I breaking up on you guys?
No.
I hear you fine.
Okay. My video was a little slow there for a second. They're getting ready to put my yard. If you go out here to my front yard, they got flags everywhere and they've marked the grass and all that stuff. They're getting ready to put fiber in my neighborhood. So any of you guys have fiber where you're at?
Yeah, I do in Utah.
And how good is it?
It's great.
Cool.
Yeah,
I'm pretty excited about it.
Really good. It's a company called Utopia.
We don't, I mean, our internet's not bad. I pay for the best that you can get, and it's still like I have bad days with it where it's not very fast. But anyway, yeah. So I want you guys to test out this land glide thing. Everybody else is gonna have to pay for it. I'm gonna give it to you guys, but I'm not even sure how much I'm gonna sell it for. But it is freaking powerful. Like we're doing. So Ryan beat me to the punch. I let him test it, and he actually got a deal from it faster than we did. So, but we got a deal. It looks like we've got a buyer, and it looks like something's going to happen with this buyer on a deal that we're going to do. So I'm right behind him. He beat us a little bit. So, yeah, it's powerful, guys. It's powerful because what happens is not only are you using it to find buyers, but then you turn around and you can find sellers from it. And I'm telling you, the lists that you buy. So think about this for a second. If you buy a list, let's say it's an exact, so in a perfect world, if we just think about this, in a perfect world, we would buy every piece of data possible in every possible property in your whole area, right? You would own all of it. You would just buy it all and you would market to all of it. Why don't we do that? Well, because it's super expensive. Not only would it be expensive to buy the data, but then you don't even know if some of those people are motivated or not. So what we do, as you guys know, we buy a motivated list. Sometimes that's vacant houses. Why is vacant houses motivated? Well, that means if they own a house and they don't live in it and there's no tenant in there, then they're paying for two. We know that is a list that generates motivated leads. But also we buy high equity lists, people that have owned the house for a while, non-owner occupied. Sometimes they've had bad tenants. Sometimes they inherited the property. Sometimes they just don't want to own more property. Sometimes it's out of state. So we know that list is motivated. So what we do when we pull a list, the whole reason is because we want to find the most possible chance of finding a motivated seller. But that leaves out a lot. Like I'll never stop buying. Well, I can't say that. This land glide thing's working so well. Maybe I'll be doing something different in 6 months. But think about this. Like in one 10 block area or 15 block area, I can't remember. I think maybe it's 10. We had 800 names to pull. And so think about that for a second. Like when you buy a list of, 5,000 people, you spend amount of dollars on that list, and you don't know, you're hoping that there's motivated people in it based on history, based on what we've done, based on what we know works. There's motivated people. But what if an owner occupied is motivated and they have a ton of equity and that didn't show up on the list? That is what land glide's pulling for us. We're getting that chance. So, but we also get to see every single buyer in the area. So it's a massive tool that creates buyers and sellers. So what happened was with us in the last week, since I talked to you guys last, we had a deal under contract. We wrote a 10, we circled a 10, or we put a square around a 10 block area around that property. We started texting those buyers, anybody that had 2 properties or more, we text them, hey, I just put a property under contract in your area. I'm just curious if you're looking to buy anything else. And we got a lot of buyers from that. Yes, I am looking for more properties. But one guy said, no, I don't want any more properties. So guess what we did? We said, well, would you want to sell the one you have? Yeah, I would. So we got a seller lead from it. So in the process of looking for buyers, we got seller leads. So that's the power of this thing. So now what we're doing, Amanda's finishing up the buyers right now. And then she's going to switch over to the actual sellers and just reach out and say, hey, we bought a property in the area. Just wondering if we're looking for another one. You want to sell the one you have. We'll see how many other buyers. Now that may not show up on any list. The cash buyers that we get may not show up on any cash buyers list. The sellers we get may not show up on any list that we have. So we're going to pull buyers and sellers out of this without maybe none of this data even being available to anybody else. So the one thing about it is, can you guys still hear me?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm frozen on my screen for some reason.
You're frozen, but I can hear you.
What's that?
You're frozen, but we can hear you.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe something's going on with my internet. I'm not sure. But maybe with all that said, maybe we can still do deals And maybe we'll get to the point where we won't even pull another list. If this starts working and this is working well, then I won't worry about pulling a list. I'll just use this as my, that's will now be my guide. Because the other thing is it's really inexpensive. We pulled all 800 for like 150 bucks. Now there is a cost to having this land glide. It's like 50 bucks a month. So you got to spend that. But I spend tens of thousands of dollars on marketing. So for me, these costs are really cheap. So I'm pretty excited about it. I'm excited to have you guys try it and see how it works for you as well. The other part is we've automated it. Now, you guys have Podio. You'll be able to automate it as well. Can you guys still hear me? I just kind of went to, okay.
Yes.
If you guys, if you stop hearing me, for some reason, my video is not working. And I'm not sure why. Let me try hitting start video again. My internet must be something going on, but as long as you can hear me, then if you can't hear me, speak up and say something. Okay. So anyway, if this works really well, I may get to the point where I don't, I don't use these other lists. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So anyway, I'm pretty excited. I just want to, the other thing too, guys, I'm very careful on compliance. And I like to do research to make sure anything I do is compliant with the federal regulations. And anytime you do cold calling or you do texting or anything like that, you have to make sure you comply. So one of the things I'm still checking on, I know using Lead Sherpa to reach out to people to see if they want to sell their house, I know that's compliant. Which is why we use Lead Sherpa. Lead Sherpa is one of the companies that makes sure you're legally compliant. What I don't know yet is I've never texted buyers. I've never texted and said, "Hey, do you want to buy my property?" And the reason the difference is one of the rules says that you can't blind text somebody and text somebody you don't know and don't have a relationship with without their prior consent if you're looking to sell a good or looking to have them buy a good or service. So I don't know. I want to make sure we're compliant first and make sure that we're not doing anything we shouldn't. So I reached out to my attorney today to see if he knew the rules on that. He didn't. So I got to find a new attorney. His thing is that's not anything to do with what he does. So I just want to make sure we're compliant because it is a little different strategy. You are reaching out to buyers to buy something. The rules are for the reason why we can reach out to somebody with texting is for one, Lead Sherpa doesn't mass text. You push one at a time. Two, we're not looking for them to buy anything. We're looking to buy from them. So that's a whole different deal. That's what makes the whole Lead Sherpa thing compliant. So I need to find that out, and I just want to make sure that we're good first. Anyway, let's jump back into everything else. What do you guys have for me today? What questions you have? Do you have problems? Do you have anything I can help you work through? Any success stories you can pump me up with? What do you got going?
So I have a question, Matt. I'm trying to, and maybe I'm going about this the wrong way, but I'm trying to get everything organized. I have a great VA, and we're just stuck on this Podio thing. And I don't want her to have to do things twice. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like if she
what are you stuck
finds
on
buyers, I want her to be able to put that into the Podio.
100%. So what's the problem? What are you stuck on?
I don't know. I just don't understand it.
What about her? Has she went through the videos on it?
She's gone through the videos, but I have this like mental block about not knowing something before I hand it off to her, because she's going to have questions and I'm just going to look like an idiot.
That's not true. You can just be transparent with her and say, hey, I'm just going to tell you right now, I've been in real estate X amount of years, but I'm trying to go to the next level with technology. So I've got this amazing Podio system, and I just want to be transparent with you that I am not an expert at Podio. So I need your help with learning it. Here's the videos, go through it and tell me if you know how to load a buyer. See what I'm saying? Break it down super simple. So here's what I do, guys. And this is a really good question, Tara, because to be honest with you, I absolutely despised Podio the first time I used it. I didn't understand it. I was confused by it. I had to go look at it a bunch of times. But anything that you learn, you guys, the best thing you can do when you learn something is to break it down into really small, bite-sized pieces. So Tara, I want you to take a step back. First of all, don't tell yourself anymore that you don't understand it, okay? Don't do that to yourself. Instead say, how can I understand this better? Okay, I'm going to break this thing down. So I want you to break down one section at a time, okay? And I want you to be transparent with your VA, especially since you said she's amazing. You're probably not giving her enough credit for her to be able to help you do this. I'll tell you right now, I have an inch of knowledge about Podio is what Amanda and Tyler do. I mean, they know way more about it than me. So break it down into small pieces. I'll give you guys an example. So this is a true story that involves Tony Robbins. So when Tony Robbins, you know, people can hire him for $1 million a year and he'll go into any industry. Doesn't matter what you're an expert at. He will step into your business and teach you how to do it better. So one time he got contacted by somebody that was a handgun sharpshooter. This guy would shoot competition guns, handguns, okay? And they would shoot at a target. You know, I don't know if you guys have ever shot target shooting at like an indoor range or something. I like to do it. I think it's fun. I haven't done it in a long time. But he contacted Tony. Tony doesn't know anything about guns or anything, but he broke it down super simple. So you want to know now, this guy had been a sharpshooter with a gun for 20 years. And he hires Tony. Tony's never barely shot a gun. So how did Tony help him? And he helped him instantly. Here's what he did. You know what he did? He grabbed the gun and he walked the guy up to the target. So let's say that the target's 30 feet away, right? He walked the guy up 1 foot away from the target. And he said, okay, now I want you to shoot at the target and see if you can hit the bullseye. And the guy like looked at him almost like he was stupid. He goes, of course I can. So he fires the gun and shoots a dead nuts bullseye. So they said, okay, let's take one step back. Now try again. One step back, try again. One step back, try again. One step back, try again. And he worked with this guy for a few hours. And at the end, like within a couple hours, this guy was a better shooter than he'd ever been, simply because he broke down the distance in small pieces. So he took a complicated, you know, something somewhat complicated and made it super simple. Now I know that's a kind of a general little lesson there, but there's a lot of power into that. So think about that, you guys, is just break stuff down into one piece. You guys learned a ton of information in a short amount of time. So Tara, well, here's what I want you to do.
Okay.
I want you to pick one thing that you're struggling with, okay?
Okay.
And I want you to take that one thing and only focus on that one thing, okay? If that's that, there should be a video on it. If there's not, tell me. And I want you to only think that thing. Don't say, oh, you know, this Podio and I got to lead here and it's got to go through this and it's got to go here and then I got to enter this. Don't do any of that, okay? Just say one thing. I want to understand it. And I want you to share. I want you to do a screen share where you get your virtual assistant and you say, hey, give them your background. They know that you're a real estate person, but just say, you know, hey, this Podio thing's new to me, but I hired you because you meet these requirements and this is something I think you could help me with. I want to load in a buyer. Okay, let's go through the video together and let's see if we can figure this out together and go through it and see how they do and see how you do and just focus on that one thing. And if at the end, the virtual assistant says, yeah, I got it, no problem. Then do you really, at that point, Tara, do you have to know it as well as she does?
No, absolutely not.
No. So I want you to do that. Now, if you do that, and by the way, Josh and a couple other guys that just jumped on, for some reason, my camera's not working I have it turned on, but I think my internet's kind of messed up, so that's why you guys can't see me. Hopefully it comes back. But unless you guys can't see me still, right?
No.
Okay.
Correct.
So anyway, that's why it's blacked out. I have no idea what's going on with it. I'm not sure. So anyway, hey Ryan. So anyway, so do that, Tara. Now, if you still have trouble, you need to reach out to my team. Okay.
Okay.
We are here to help you. So if we need to get Tyler on with you, I know Tyler said he worked with you a couple of times this week. Guess what? If we need to work with you some more, we will. I want you to understand this stuff. But I want, and here's the thing is, if you're struggling with it, there's going to be other people that are struggling with it. If we need to make a better video, then we need to make a better video. But we're here to help you, okay? So, so I want you to do that. If you are still struggling and your VA is struggling, then let us know, okay? Now, I want to let you guys know something. You do not have to be the smartest person on the planet. You don't even have to be the smartest person on your team. In fact, I don't want you to be. Okay, I'm just telling you right now, Tyler and Amanda can work circles around me on certain things. Like I wouldn't even come close to them. Now, I can be tough guy and say, I'm the smartest guy on the planet. Or I can just be real and say, listen, I'm really good at some things and I'm not as good at other things. And that's okay. And I don't care about being the smartest guy. I'm not around to be the smartest guy. I've never been the smartest guy. I wasn't the smartest guy in school. I've never been the smartest guy at anything. I'm just good at other things. And one of the things I'm good at is surrounding myself with smart people. So don't feel like, Tara, don't feel like you have to be the answer person. Right?
Well, I guess I did say to her that, you know, as a company, we just brought on this new system called Podio. So I'm kind of learning it in real time with you.
Yeah,
and
exactly. That's great. That's perfect.
Yeah, she's wonderful. I believe me, she's great. She's really great. But I guess what I'm also concerned about is, how do I know she's doing it right if I don't know how to, you know what I mean? Like the Podio is only going to be as good as all the information you put in it.
100%.
And, excuse me?
Yeah, that's 100%. You're 100%
Yeah.
correct. So it's only
that's
good as
my big concern.
So if here's the other thing is if you can give me some more specifics, like right now I don't really know what you're struggling with. I just know it's something to do with Podio. Go back and do what I just said, and if we jump on, if you need my team, you reach out for sure. And if next week we jump on and you still want more clarity, just come on with a little bit more detail on specifics.
Okay.
And just remember, you guys, there's all of us have different strengths. One of the reasons why I had you guys do the discs is everybody's built differently. You know, I have to ask my team answers all the time. They know stuff I don't know. So there's never, you know, only thing I look at my team for is if somebody's struggling with something, I wonder what we did wrong. Okay, what could we have done better? Why didn't the video explain it well enough? And do we have to create a new one? So we can never get it right the first time, you guys. And I'm not afraid to say that we're not perfect. So Tara, if there's something that, you know, we can improve, we will. And we can't improve if you guys don't give us feedback. So I appreciate any of that stuff.
Sure. I did tell, Tyler did send me 2 more videos. So I said to him, let me just go through them again, you know.
Okay. Perfect.
Just review them again, and then I'll have an idea.
Perfect. I just really want to see you guys succeed, and I'm here to help. So
Great. Thank you.
I'm never going to say, well, you know, good luck. You know, I'm here for you guys. So, okay. So let's talk. Anybody else have anything that we can help through? Anybody? Rod, what do you got?
So I'm trying to understand. I looked over the video on the Google Voice and having it, you know, you got to set it up here in the US, because I told my VA about.
It's so funny you're asking this question, not to cut you off, but we literally, are you having trouble with it?
No, I'm just trying to understand, because I told her, hey, I'm going to set up an account for you so you can start taking some phone inbound calls and filling out the lead sheet. So I'm just trying to understand how does that I route my number to her if she's in the Philippines? Like, I'm trying to understand that concept.
Yeah. So guess what? You just asked the question of the day, because for some reason we hooked up one of my new cold callers with a Google Voice number, and all of a sudden it stopped working. Like something went wrong. And so the last day and a half, my team's been working on a solution. And I don't know if Google Voice just kind of put the hammer down and they're not letting us use it for, forwarding and working with people outside the country. But they literally shut me down because they said we violated their rules of agreement. So we figured out a new thing, and we're actually doing, CallRail has what's called a soft phone. And we're setting that up right now to resolve that. So what I'm going to do, my team's working on it. Literally, like before I jumped on, that was one of the things that I was communicating back and forth between Amanda and Daisy and Tyler and Hazel. They were figuring out how to use this soft phone feature. So, we'll get it to you guys as soon as we figure it out. We'll get the step-by-step going.
I have a question about that as well. Oops, sorry. So my my VA was getting kicked off if she used the Gmail that I set up for her, but she could use her own Gmail. Does that make a difference if the Google Voice is connected to her Gmail?
No, not really. You just don't have as much control.
Right. Okay.
Hang on a second, guys. I'm going to text Tyler to come up here and just talk through this just to make sure I understand it. He stepped out. Hang on.
They had shut my Google Voice down too, for whatever reason. I think it was because I was having a VA text through it.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden my Google Voice, they just shut it down. It wasn't working. I didn't know that until I tested it, which really sucks because I sent out that RVM with my Google Voice number and it was down when I sent it out to all my old leads. But anyway, I finally emailed Google and they were able to fix the problem and turn it back on within like 2 days.
Okay.
But now I actually talked to Amanda about it last week and she said, yeah, use CallRail instead because they don't have all the regulations Google Voice does.
Yeah. So two things. One is my camera's not working. Oh. Tyler's sitting here, but it's not working. It's on.
Hey, Tyler.
Hey.
And two, I want you to explain this. It's funny. Rod just asked a question about Google Voice. Yeah. So these guys can hear me. Oh, there we go. Now you guys can see me. See, Tara, I didn't have to solve that. I just had Tyler do it. So can you explain real quick this soft phone deal with CallRail?
Oh, so I didn't really get into it with CallRail yet. I was gonna set it up, but for $10 a month, you can get a soft phone on CallRail, and you can link it to your setup campaign numbers. So you have different numbers for each of your different marketing campaigns, and you can call out through those, and the leads automatically get linked back to that campaign. So it's pretty cool.
But what was the deal with Google Voice? Why did they shut us off?
They have this new policy where if you're calling from out of the United States, they just restricted us from doing it.
Okay.
So they must have just changed it this year.
But is anybody else doing? Is anybody else doing their
inbound calls though?
Huh?
What about inbound calls? Like if my VA, like I'm getting inbound calls, I want her to start taking the inbound calls.
Yeah, so if she calls through, like say you have a Google Voice account set up for your email, like the problem was we were making the emails for the VAs here in the United States. They're coming in through the virtual computer, but I think she tried one time to log in without being on the virtual computer. Like she logged in from the Philippines from that IP address and it flagged it and it just shut it all off for a whole account. What else do you want to know?
Well, does that answer, so Rod, does that answer your question?
Well, I wanted to know, like, under the video for the Google Voice setup, it says for you to set up the account here in the US, which I would do, for
Mhm.
your VA.
Mhm.
How do I get the number to forward to her cell phone? Like,
Forward to her cell phone, you have to link her as like a linked phone number in the back end of Google Voice. There's like all the list of linked numbers you have. So she has to enter her phone number and then go through the whole like send the 6-digit code process and enter it in, and then it should link. It might, if it throws a red flag though for being out of the country, then you might have to use CallRail too. So Google Voice worked up for us up until like maybe a week ago.
so should I mean, because I would like for her, because there may be some times I can't answer the phone.
Mhm.
I would have her do it, like take the inbound calls if that's possible.
Yeah, so if you have the Google Voice app on your phone, I'm pretty sure you can toggle which forwarding number gets the calls like on the fly. So you can like, when you want to take the calls, you can leave yours toggled on. And when you want to go off for the night, you can toggle it back to hers. You can
So
switch.
it'll toggle to like an out of country phone number?
Yeah, if you add her in, she verifies it, that'll just be another option to forward calls to.
Okay, cool.
I think you can just switch on the fly.
Gotcha.
But with CallRail, it might be even better because you can probably set up a rule like during this time of the day and during this part of the week, put calls here, and then during these off times, send them to the VA. So maybe CallRail might be a little bit better for that.
All right.
Call handling, but if you want to just make it a little bit simpler right now, you can use voice.
Hey, Tyler.
Yeah.
It's Jeff over here, and Matt too. I noticed in the Facebook group, I got a couple questions just about promotions, and you had something where it was like a new program that you were trying to get people for testimonials and stuff for $5,000 or something like that. Is that something that we should be looking into, or is that kind of like what we're doing already?
Jeff, what I'm doing there, you mean that email we just sent out?
Yes.
What I'm doing is I'm going to be rolling out yeah, so I'm going to be, well, I don't know exactly what I'm rolling out. Like a lot of times I send emails and I'm looking for, I like to see what people say. What I'm doing is I'm going to, some people just can't, they just are too afraid to start. So two things I'm working on. One is for, you guys are in a little different situation in here because you work directly with us and my team and stuff like that. But some people are just like, hey, I just want to hire you to set up my whole thing, like set up everything in my company with all my virtual assistants. But other people, so what we're doing is a couple things. One could be an a la carte thing. Could be somebody that just says, hey, I don't know how to get a virtual assistant. Can I hire you to find my virtual assistant? Sure, no problem. This is what it'll cost. Hey, I want to send out marketing, but I don't know how to set up the call rail. I don't know how to set up pulling the list. I don't know how to send the direct mail. Okay, no problem. We'll do that for you. Here's what that costs. And I use the $5,000 number as a way to make sure people realize that, hey, you have to have some money and this isn't free. And when my team does that and sets that up, that takes their time out of their day. That means they're not working on my stuff. So there's a real cost to it. So we're literally still working through some of the details on that right now. The other thing that I'm working on along with that is if somebody wants to, partner, if somebody wants to partner up and says, hey, I want to do deals. I'm not confident to do them on my own, but I want to be led by your team. I'll charge them a certain fee. We'll split the deal a certain percentage. My team will run the marketing, and they have access to me for coaching and anything else that they might need. So I'm going to be talking more through that too in the future few weeks as well. We're just trying to figure out, like, we've been doing this stuff for a really long time and we're really good at it. I say it's actually my team. I'm not good at a lot of this stuff. So I just want to make it available. If somebody's hung up, like, hey, you can hire us to do that for you, that piece, and we'll set it up for you. And then you're set. You can go from there.
That is a great service, I think.
Yeah. And you can hire, have you guys ever seen the services that will hire the virtual assistant for you? You pay like $1,500 and they'll go out and get a virtual assistant and they say that they're trained. What I want to do is, we're really good at finding virtual assistants. Like, it's just part of our hiring process. But what if I could do it way cheaper than that for somebody, you know? So like, I think I'm gonna, like, most of these companies will charge like $1,500 to get a virtual assistant, and then they went through some training. I think the training's crap, but then they'll also upcharge. You're hiring that virtual assistant from them, and then you're paying $2 extra an hour for the virtual assistant that isn't going to the virtual assistant. So what if I could help? What if I could hire the virtual assistant? You pay me to hire them. I hand them off to you, and maybe you just pay them directly, and that virtual assistant gets to keep all the money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I might do the well, you pay us and then we pay them thing. I'm not exactly sure. I'm just trying to figure out how I can bring more value to people. You know what I mean?
Great. That's great. Two more quickies.
Yep.
So the land glide thing, I know it's not ready yet. And you're working with it and getting experience with it. It's going to be a program, and that we'll get that. I think that's really, really cool. Will it be a step-by-step thing like the other stuff that you do, telling us how to do this, how to find the sellers, just stuff you talked to us about today was awesome.
Yeah, it's already, like, Amanda and Tyler have already built it. I gave them more stuff to add today, but it's step-by-step plus videos. So it's the step-by-step words and screenshots and a video that also teaches you both. So it'll be one full course.
That is great. Also, these sessions are really valuable, these Q&A sessions. Would you ask Tyler? I only see.
He's standing right here.
Oh yeah. Hey Tyler, I only see question and answer in the portal that you set up for us, or the link for question and answer 1 and question and answer 2, but 3 and I think 3, 4, and I think this is the 5th one, right? This is the 5th. 3 and 4 are not in there, and I wondered if you could retrieve those, or
I have to dump them into YouTube. So if you have the YouTube playlist link, that's where they're going to end up.
I do have it, and they're not there.
I have to take them out of Zoom and upload them in because they're big files.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get. I'm gonna do that.
3 and 4 need to be input.
All the rest.
Yeah, so we'll get those uploaded, Jeff. Hey, by the way, you guys, just so you know, this is your lucky day, because I am also, I'm just taking really good care of you guys. I just really like all you guys. I think it's been fun training with you. But on top of me giving you the land glide whole process, I'm also, we just created Virtually Unemployed 2.0. Okay. I'm going to launch it Friday to people that bought Virtually Unemployed, and I'm going to charge them $297 for it. So they already bought the this is the upgrade. And what this is 70 plus videos and the step-by-step process in which you follow, plus all of the text and new stuff that we just added. And I'm charging $1,000 for that. Okay. I'm charging everybody that buys this $1,000, except for if you already bought Virtually Unemployed, I'm charging $300. For you guys, I'm giving it to you for nothing.
Wow.
So that's coming down the pipeline too.
That has land glide in it.
That's
and
awesome.
that has the land glide
That's
in it.
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Matt.
You're a giver.
You're awesome.
Yeah, so I'm trying to take really good care of you guys. I really want to give you all the tools you need to really crush. I feel like you're kind of my little core group that we can do a lot of cool stuff. So that's coming. So you got, I don't know what I'm going to charge for land glide, to be honest with you. Probably like $100 or $200. It's I could charge $5,000 for it. It'd be worth it. But I try to be fair about stuff. And it didn't take us that long to build. So I kind of always play that into it, but it is powerful. Like it's a game changer. It will change your business. And I'm almost afraid, like I sometimes I think small, and I'm like, man, if I give this to my people that in my area, will it? But I'm like, screw it. Like, we'll get stronger, and we're always getting better. So, but it's so powerful. People will be knocking, like the other experts will be knocking this off within 6 months. I guarantee it. It's going to change so much stuff that other people are going to be knocking it off. So, but between those two things, I'm giving you guys another, probably $1,200 worth of stuff. So wow. I'll probably use you guys for my guinea pigs on stuff, and you can test stuff out that I build and all that. But it's cool, because right now, here's the problem is you guys have a lot of these videos. The problem is they're not organized in a format that I like, because I want you to be able to just go through like step by step, like, okay, I need to work this second, third. So now you'll actually have a portal you can log into that will have everything nice and organized, plus all the new stuff, text and video, everything super simple to learn. You want to get it, you know, again, we're trying to get your virtual assistants trained so you can push videos to your virtual assistants, and just trying to make it as easy as possible for you guys to succeed. So
Thank you so much.
Yep, for sure. Who else got a question for me?
I got it. Yes, Matt. So this week is going to be I'm going to be sending out mailers close to 7,500. Nexa is already set up. But I got a quick question. I was thinking on a mailer, on a postcard, it says my name as sender. But when they're going to call Nexa and they're going to be saying my company name, the Property Solutions. Should I change it to something else, or?
I would change it to come from your company.
So on the postcard as well?
Yeah, and then you could say on the postcard, you could say, you know, let's say the return address is your company. You could say there though that your name is Robbie, you know, in the actual text part. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, let me grab. I got a Google View postcard right here. Hang on a second. So in like the Google View, like I'm holding a Google, you guys see that, right?
Yeah.
This is my Google View. So, so in mine, all I have is where my office address is right here. It doesn't even say my company name at all. Okay. That's just my address for my company. Now on the back, it says, you know, hi, Crystal, my name is Matthew. So I list my first name in here. And then at the end it says, thanks, Matthew. And it shows the number that they should call. Okay.
All right.
That's how we do it.
Okay.
This is one of those, I don't know. Did any of you guys, I think David Bader, you got the scanner. Did anybody else get the scanner yet?
I got a scanner too.
Okay, cool. Have you guys used it? Well, you're getting ready to use it as soon as you send out your direct mail. It's awesome. And you know, here's the thing is I got a message from one guy after I got done showing that. And this guy's like, hey man, why don't you just use the barcode system? And I was like, what in the hell are you talking about, barcode system? And so I literally put my team on it. I'm like, what's he talking about? Because he's like, you could skip that whole step with barcode. So if anybody ever tells you just do barcode, they're wrong. Okay, we did all the research. We called, made 1 million phone calls this week, talked for a long, long time, did tons of research. That's the cool thing about us. Like I won't leave any stone unturned. And evidently there's some barcode system that you can get the cards posted with barcodes. But what we found at the end of the day, it's still not bulletproof. Unless you're doing the scanning and you actually do everything that gets a return address, nothing else is, you're gonna miss mail pieces. So the way that I showed you guys with that scanner and scanning all of them, sending them to your VA, scrubbing the list, that is the way to do it. So keep doing that way. If somebody says, you know, I just barcode, they're missing mail. They're missing some pieces. Okay. So Robbie, that's good, man. 7,500 is a lot. You're going to be busy. You're going to get a lot of leads. What list is that?
Exact data.
Vacant.
Exact data. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And
now here's a cool thing.
Third notice. Sorry.
What's that?
I use the third notice postcard.
That's good. Yep. That's good. You'll probably get a very good response rate from that. Now, what you can do with that list, you bought the list, right? Or you're going to buy the list, one of the two. You have that list. Now you can cold call that list. You got to skip trace. You can text that list, you know, send it through Lead Sherpa. You can do all this stuff. You're going to use that list over and over and over again. You're going to beat the crap out of that list. You don't need to, 7,500 is a lot. Like you can do a lot with that.
Yeah, but I was going to ask you something. I skip traced the list first through Data Finder.
Mm-hmm.
And it came back with 5,800 records found with the phone number. When I put that onto statistics network for RVMs, they suppressed 3,000 numbers out of it. So I'm not sure, is it the data finder is a problem or?
Well, so here's the thing. So data finder is not as accurate as Lead Sherpa. Okay. But data finder's way less money.
Yes.
So that's the difference. So if you get a number from Lead Sherpa, it's going to be like, you're pretty sure who you're texting is the right number and it's all good. But Data Finder's a little cheaper. So we kind of use both, to be honest with you. But I think, I would put more stock in Lead Sherpa.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
now
so-
you can text, you can cold call, you got your direct mail, you'll direct mail again. So after you send this 7,500, see what the leads are, your next card will be the Google View card, right? You're good for a while. Like you'll have a list to work with for a while.
Yeah. So for cold calling, I got almost 50, 60 leads.
Okay.
And I was the way we discussed last week, I went back and made some offers, but it wasn't worth it. I mean, they're still not
Nothing yet.
shopping offers.
Okay.
But I have my VA started doing MLS offers. So I actually got one lead out of it. The realtor, it was listed for 200,000. They reduced the price by 5,000. We made an offer of 140, and the realtor said seller will consider it.
Boom.
When I went in there, we looked at a property and we were looking at it, and I was about to say yes, okay, we're good for that. She said somebody called and made an offer of 185. So that's how the people.
You got to move quick, man. You got to move quick. You're in an area where you got to move quick. So remember, you can always lock up the deal and then go back and renegotiate later, right?
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to lock up. You can always back out. Put that 14-day inspection period in there.
I did. I mean, I even said 10 days, and she said no, 7 days. I said, okay, that's fine.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, hey, guess what? Now you reach back to that realtor and say, hey, listen, I know you've got a good offer. If anything falls apart with that offer, call me back. I'm still interested. You must do that, because then they go back to the seller. Well, guess what? We still have somebody else. If this one falls apart, we've got somebody. And I'm guessing, Robbie, the chances of it falling apart are high. There's a lot of lender issues right now.
Yeah, that is true. The thing is, the property ARV is only 220 or 225 the most, and it needs like 30,000 work to get it to the right level. But people are still paying higher money for getting the property.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
The land glide thing is going to work good for you, because you're going to find all the local people that are probably buyers that may not show up on a cash buyer list. And then it doesn't really matter what you pay. It doesn't matter. You could pay 200 if you find somebody that will pay 210. Who cares? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
You're still in an area with California. You're still in an area now, maybe not as hot as what it was, but you're still in an area where people are emotional buyers. California buyers are emotional. A Midwest buyer, they're not really that emotional. Most people are pretty logical. Okay, I buy it for this. I put this. Not saying all, because I'll never forget. I sold a house to a girl from right out of college locally here, and she calls me up and she says, "Hey, I want to buy this house that I put it on Zillow. I want to buy this house from you." Okay. She's like, "I'm not sure on the price, if the price is a good price or not." And I said, "Okay." And I'm like, "Well, what kind of return do you want?" She goes, "Return? Like, yeah, what kind of cash on cash return? What are you looking?" She says, "I don't care about that. I just want a house. I just want to rent it out." So she had no logic at all. So that does happen, but you are in an emotional area. Like, people want to buy. Hey, I just watched Flip This House last weekend, and these guys are doing some cool stuff. Let's go get a house. And we'll just, even if it's not a good deal, it doesn't matter. I watched the show and they put all this work into it, and then they sold it for even more than they thought. People are watching that stuff. And especially in California, that's where a lot of the shows are at. If you guys think that people aren't watching that and going out and doing, you're wrong. Like, it is, it's the deal. So just, lessons learned, we all learn. But I never feel bad about losing a deal, because the next one's out there. I'm going to wake up tomorrow, more leads are coming in.
Yeah.
But I'm proud of you, dude. Like, you're taking action. I'm freaking impressed. I'm very proud of you. Good job. So who else got something you want to talk about?
I got a question. Oh, you go, Ron.
Just piggyback on Ravik real quick on your MLS offers. Are you using a realtor to
Uh-oh.
get your list?
You froze on me for a second. Say that again.
how on the MLS offers, like, is it best to get a realtor to send you listings of what you're looking for, or do you just kind of go online and see what's out there?
There's two ways. You can get a realtor. Right now, realtors are hungry because a lot of them they were working hard and they're in the hottest real estate market since '06, and now all of a sudden they're not. So you can do that way, or you can just make an offer directly with the the selling agent. Yeah. And there's a little advantage of doing that. So let's talk disadvantage, advantage. Disadvantage is that person's really working for the seller, right? They're not going to be on your side. Secondly, the advantage of that is they get both sides of the commission. So you send an offer for 180, somebody else sends an offer for 185. She's going to pull that seller and say, hey, we got two offers. This one's 185. This guy's 180. But you know what? I talked to this guy with the 180. He's a solid buyer. I really feel like he's going to actually close. And they'll make your deal go through, even though you didn't offer as much, because they make way more commission. They got double the commission. Makes sense? Mm-hmm. Cool. Josh, what'd you have?
I'm getting a lot of hate emails, voicemails, text. That doesn't bother me too much, but I put like my name on there and they're sending me Facebook messages. Should I like not put my last name on the mail? Or just don't worry about it and just keep going?
They're literally saying, hey, don't contact me?
No, they're like saying they're gonna like turn me in and all this stuff, and they're getting really upset about getting text messages. Like some people are irate about it. It's insane.
Well, first of all, you texted 20,000 old numbers, right?
Well, probably, yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't like to do. Two things. You use Lead Sherpa to do it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you haven't broken any compliance by doing that. So there's nothing they can turn you in on. The two compliance pieces are you got to do one text at a time. So it's not mass texting, and you can't be offering for them to sell them something. You're offering to buy their house. So they can turn you in, but there's nothing to turn in. You haven't broken any rules. Okay. But I would be super polite with people. I mean, that's how we like to handle. Oh, I'm so sorry. I meant no offense. I'll take you off the list and we'll never contact you again. Just be super polite.
Okay. Should I take my last name off of the mailings?
You can.
Do you have your last name?
I don't have my last name on mine.
You get mad at your mailings?
Not so much the mailings, I guess. I mean, I get some angry voicemails. I'm not exactly sure what they're coming from because I have so many things going on, RVM texting and direct mail.
So change it to a post office box, and they don't even know your address, and then take your last name off.
Yeah. Okay.
We get this stuff all the time too, you guys, and it's just super simple. Like if somebody doesn't want you to contact them, just remove them so that you never contact them again.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. we get it's just part of the deal. It just kind of happens.
Yeah.
But I'm very big on when you go through Lead Sherpa, you're doing the litigator list and then do not contact list, right? So some of those people might be on that list. If you didn't do that right, you could have gotten past that.
I think it automatically does it for you.
I think so.
I think it automatically just scrubs everything through those lists and then gives you what it gives you for numbers.
The biggest thing I can tell you is just to be super polite. Just, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean, I meant no harm. I'll take you off the list. And, just,
okay.
Yeah. Politeness usually calms people down. What happens is if you're a D personality like me and you get all pissed off, then it just enrages people, right? People always mirror whatever emotions you're showing. So if you're mad, they're going to be even more mad. If you're polite, they'll be polite and say, that guy was in the back of their mind like, he pissed me off because he sent me a text, but he seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, true. Okay.
Sound good? Yep. What else? Anybody else?
Question on when you're having your VA, I'm getting another computer so I can have my VA use my laptop to log in. Like if they're on Craigslist, can they just browse Craigslist for like looking for leads? Or if if they're just trying to post something like an ad, they have to do it from my
Correct.
computer.
Correct. They can browse. They could do the searching to make offers. But when you go to post,
Okay.
if it's not an IP address that's local to that town that you're posting in, that's where Craigslist will either flag and delete your post or ghost it.
Okay.
And that's where you just log them into your computer and it's close IP and all that stuff, and it's great. We have this one that's working down here. We've got another one over there, and I've got 3 in my office, and I think Amanda's got one in her house, so we got them all over the place.
I just got your Epson scanner, Matt, today.
Okay, nice. Nice. You guys will like that. It's so fast. Makes the whole process really easy. And if you get one deal from that, you pay for marketing forever. And again, nobody's doing that step. Like, it's funny, you guys. So I posted that on my Instagram, and I won't say his name, but he is a massive buyer and seller, wholesaler out of probably not far from where Tara's at. This guy does a ton of deals, like tons and tons. He sees it. He follows me on Instagram. He saw it, and he's like immediately sending me a message saying, what is that? What? I've never heard of anybody. Like, what are you doing? What is that? And he was asking me all kinds of questions on it. He'd never done it. So think about, that's how rare people use it. You got an advantage there. There's gold there.
And what do you do once you run it through the scanner again, the quick steps? Are you just reaching out to them, cold calling, texting, and fixing the mail address, or what is it?
So you're scanning them all. There's a couple things you're doing. You're scanning them all, and then you can skip trace them and figure out where those people are at. So you get their phone number, you can text them and call them. Secondly is your VA then takes, so here's why the scanner pays for itself. If every single month, like Robbie, for example, if you're buying all this direct mail, you're going to get a crap load back. You're going to just stack back that were undeliverable, which is gold, right? You're going to turn that into money. But if you weren't doing the scanner piece, the scanner's $230, then that stack, let's say you've got postage in there, let's say you've got the actual postcard, you're going to have, let's say Robbie, for example, you sent out 7,500, you're going to get 150, 200 back at least, right? Well, that's $100 right there, because when you figure the cost of the postcard and the postage, that just saved you $100. Because now, to answer the second part of your question, David, is you're going to make your VA scrub that, and you never send to that list again, right? So in the future, when you beat up your list, or David, when you guys beat up your list and you pull a new list, you're going to take that information that that list, if that address comes up again, and you send direct mail to it, it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to get returned. So you wasted your money on the postage and the card. So now you send that to your VA, and she scrubs that right out of your list, and just keep that as a way to scrub.
Are they trying to figure out a different mailing address for the person, or you have a system on that, or no? Just get it taken off. Okay.
For whatever reason, it goes undeliverable. Maybe they don't have a forwarding address or whatever.
Okay.
So people move a lot, guys. I mean, it's amazing how often. I mean, I'm in I have a lot of rental properties, and people move all the time. It just happens. So what else? Anybody else got anything?
I have a question for down the road. So once I get to a point where I have the VA doing the contracts, how are you getting earnest money? How are they collecting earnest money?
They send the earnest money directly to the title company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You don't really want to handle that part.
Okay.
So we have the part of our transaction coordination is so like in my company, for example, Amanda does transaction coordination on the front side of things when we buy a property. When we sell a property, so what happens is, if we sell a property and they have to turn in earnest money, we make sure we communicate with the title company that the earnest money is there. right? So we follow up with the buyer. Hey, did you send your earnest money? Yeah, I sent it today. Okay, did you wire it? How did you do it? Yeah, I sent a wire. So then we contact the title company. Hey, can you give me a confirmation? Is earnest money there? Yes. Okay, great.
Perfect. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. So
I have
anything
some
else?
questions about
Hey,
like,
Ryan.
how's it going, guys?
Good.
Yeah, I have some questions about kind of negotiations and just kind of getting deals locked up
Okay.
and closed.
Okay.
I have four sellers right now that we've negotiated the price, we've got verbal agreement, and they're just, we've dropped off an offer, and it's like they've been reviewing the offer for weeks. So, and I mean, I have some ideas, and I think I know some reasons why they're holding off. Such as, it's like we're talking to the husband and they have to clear it with the wife. So it's like we weren't really talking to both decision makers.
Okay, so that's step one. Make sure if there's two people that own a property, make sure you get both
talking to both of them
at the same time.
because, yeah, we don't want them basically negotiating. We don't want the husband negotiating with the wife for us. I'd rather have both of them on at the same time. I don't think we're not really getting an upfront agreement.
Yeah, ask if you can do a three-way call. Like if they're divorced, let's say, hey, do you mind if we so one of the questions is when you go to make an offer, is you ask the person like, are you the sole decision maker here? Is there another owner that we have to get permission with to get an offer accepted? Oh, I've got an ex-wife and she's technically okay. Can we three-way her in once you come up with you're going to make an offer on the house? I'd ask to three-way them in, or if they have a good relationship, no, I can, let me talk today and I can have an answer back for you and then we can both sign the contract. But I'd put a little pressure on it. So now going back to that deal, I would be following up and just saying, hey guys, here's the deal is, I wish I could buy every house on the planet, but unfortunately I only have so much resources. I need a decision. I've got you're holding up 3 other offers on the back side here because I'm waiting to see if you're going to accept. What do we need to do to get this deal either locked up or we forget about it?
Okay. We've used methods like that. Sometimes it's just, one of the husband or the wife are freaking out over COVID-19 and they don't want anybody in the house. Mm-hmm. So like one of the properties, it's like we came into the living room, but like the wife was hiding in the back and we couldn't go back, into any other rooms, even though we were wearing like masks and gloves and stuff like that.
Can you just ask them to take their own take pictures for you? Yeah.
We've asked them to do that. And we're just like, we expect to, basically do new paint and just make sure the plumbing and electrical's up to code. I mean, we expect to basically do pretty much everything, flooring, paint, all this stuff. So we're okay with it. Sign a contract.
I'd make an offer sight unseen.
Yeah. So it's just, for whatever reason, they're older, they're, they're
worried.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're just not, I mean, in actually 2 of these cases, we're giving them their asking price. Mm-hmm. So the numbers work. So we haven't even negotiated it down. And we've used kind of that, hey, we're only going to buy like 1 or 2 more properties and we've got a bunch of offers, we'd kind of like to know if this is, if you're going to be one of us.
Yeah. And you can also on top of that, you can just say, hey, I need an answer by the end of the week. I don't know if you've seen the news, but they keep saying the real estate market's going to fall even further. And this has been hung up for a week. I really can't keep the same offer. If this goes another week or 2, I have to lower my price.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
So,
and then let's see. I've got this other wholesale deal that I've got until next Friday to close it, and I've got a buyer who says he is, he can close it by next week. We haven't done a contract yet. So
why?
This is a listed property. So he knows it's listed. So he's seen the price. He's seen the markup that we're getting. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering if he's trying to pull some crap and he's just basically, just going to wait and then try and, I don't want to give him any negotiating leverage.
So I would,
I mean, there's some strategies that I have when I reach out.
I'd just
to
be
them today,
super simple with it. I would just say, listen, here, I've got another buyer for the property. If you want it, I've held this guy off. If you want it, then I need it. I need the contract signed today. If not, I'm moving on.
Yeah, I got you.
And then go find a new buyer.
That's very similar to what I was gonna do.
Yep.
So,
Find a new buyer.
I can close it myself. I really don't want to.
Hit your buyers list up. Hit your buyers list up. Find another buyer. Always have more. You guys, if you have one buyer, that buyer makes the decisions. If you have two buyers now, you make the decision.
I've got another question on the Fiverr buyers. I did a bunch of those, and I got a bunch of lists, and I had my VA combine them. They were only giving me, 100, 200 or whatever. Should I go back to all those people on Fiverr and just be like, what would it cost to get your whole list?
I would put a number to it. I would just say, hey, how much to get 500 names?
Gotcha.
You guys saw.
Some of them might be duplicates. Yeah, some of them might already be duplicates.
Yeah, I showed you guys last week my screenshot of my VA that finds me new buyers every day, right?
Yeah. I got 880 or something like that from Fiverr.
Okay. Yeah. Well, and now it's coming down to contacting them, right?
Correct.
You gotta build a relationship, and that starts with a contact and seeing if they're still buying. Yep. That's
cool.
and that some of that stuff takes a little bit of time, Ryan. You're in kind of a time bind on some of these things, but you can always do the old trick I've done for years. Let's say this MLS deal has to close by next week and you're running short. If you can ask for an extension. Sometimes they'll say go take a hike, or you can do what I've done for years. If the spread's good, I'll say, hey man, I need an extra 2 weeks. I'm going to give you $500 extra. And nobody turns down the money.
Yeah. I've got a good relationship with the listing agent. So I went direct to the listing agent.
Okay.
So,
all right.
And then I wanted to comment. I think that's awesome that you're doing, you're offering some services like to help people set up, call rail and all that. Like I don't see anybody else doing that. And I think you're doing it a very reasonable price. And I just wanted to say thanks for all the value that you create.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome, man.
So
well, cool. Anything else, you guys?
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, real quick.
Anything else?
Matt, I just had a phone. Yep. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah, I just had a phone call from a seller. He got one of my postcards. He's got 2 properties. He didn't sound real motivated. He just said, hey, I'm getting a lot of, mail and stuff. But he didn't sound motivated. And I was like, well, what you want? I mean, what's your asking price? And I told him I can get back with you. Let me do some, sales comps, and I can give you an offer, no obligation. But he didn't have any motivation really. He just returned my call or postcard. So
what did he say for a price?
He wouldn't give me a price. He told me what they're rented for. He's got 2 of them. One's rented for $750, another for $1,050, and he just said, I'm getting a lot of mail, but he's like, how'd you get my information? I just said, well, I reached out to plenty of sellers in that area. I'm just looking to buy. But I told him he wouldn't give me a price, but
okay.
So
I always say, well, can you give me a ballpark number? Just say my offers are always higher when I start with a ballpark. If I have to just make an offer blindly, it's always less, and I don't want to offend you.
Okay.
That makes sense? You give them motivation. Well, yeah, I like a higher price. And then when they say, nope, just make me an offer, then I make it so low that they're like, that is not even close. I'm like, well, I told you, if you gave me a ballpark, it would be closer. So where are you at? What do you want? So let's say your number is, you're thinking 150 grand for both is a good price. I'm just throwing this number out there, right? And he won't give you a price. So you think 150 is probably decent, but because he won't give you a price, you say 100 grand. I'll give you 100 grand for both. Well, you're crazy. Do you know what you're talking? Like, I asked you for a ballpark price, and I told you if you wouldn't give me one, I'd have to make a lower than normal offer. So what price does work? If 100 grand isn't it, what's the number? Well, I got to have at least 130. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
So, all right. Anything else, guys? All good. Offers, offers, offers. Leads, leads, leads. Make money. Get something under contract. Okay, that's my final thing. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Well,
Thanks a
Have
lot,
a good
if there's
man.
no
week.
other questions, yeah, we'll see you guys
Thanks,
next week.
Matt.
Okay.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Tyler.
All right.
See you later, man. Have a great week.
Thanks, Matt.
All right. You too. We'll see you. Bye.